They say you can't choose your family. And unfortunately for me, that is the truest statement I've ever heard. My name is Morgan. I'm a trauma surgeon. I'm 32 years old, and last month, I did something that made half my relatives block me on Facebook. I evicted my own parents from the luxury retirement home I bought for them. Sounds heartless, right? That's what they want you to think. But here's the part they leave out of the story. I didn't kick them out because we had a fight. I didn't kick them out because I'm greedy. I kicked them out because when I paid them a surprise visit last week, I walked in on them celebrating with champagne. They weren't celebrating their anniversary. They were celebrating the fact that they had found a legal loophole to sell my house behind my back. And why? To give the money, all $500,000 of it, to my older brother, Jason, so he could pay off his gambling debts. They thought they had committed the perfect crime. But they forgot one thing. I'm not the quiet little girl they used to push around anymore. This is the story of how I saved my financial future and finally cut the cord with the people who raised me. To understand why this happened, you need to understand the dynamic in my house growing up. I was the invisible child. I got straight A's, I followed the rules, and I never asked for anything. My brother Jason? He was the golden child. Jason was 2 years older and charming. He could talk his way out of a murder charge. He was always starting businesses. First, it was a DJ career, then a crypto app, then a drop-shipping empire. They all failed. Every single one. And every single time my parents were there with their checkbook. He's just an entrepreneur, Morgan, my mom would say. He takes risks. You wouldn't understand, you chose the safe path. The safe path? I was in medical school, sleeping 4 hours a night, while Jason was partying in Vegas on Dad's credit card. By the time my dad retired, his pension was gone. Jason had drained them dry. They were living in a cramped apartment with mold on the walls. I couldn't watch them live like that. Despite everything, they were still my parents. So, 2 years ago, I made the biggest purchase of my life. I bought a gorgeous 4-bedroom house in Florida. It had a pool, a garden, everything. I handed them the keys and said, "This is yours to live in, rent-free, forever. Just pay the utilities." They cried. Dad hugged me and said, "We don't deserve you, Morgan." For the first time in my life, I felt seen. I thought, okay, we're finally a family. I was wrong. I wasn't a daughter to them. I was just a retirement plan that finally paid out. Fast forward to last week. I had a rare weekend off from the hospital. I decided to fly down to Florida and surprise them. I didn't call ahead. I wanted to see their faces when I showed up with groceries and gifts. I pulled into the driveway around 2 p.m., and the first thing I noticed was a car I didn't recognize. A flashy, red sports car. Then I saw the license plate, JB0Y1. Jason. My stomach dropped. Jason was supposed to be in New York, working on his new venture. I grabbed my spare key and walked to the front door. As I unlocked it, I heard laughter coming from the dining room. Loud, raucous laughter. I walked down the hallway quietly. The floors were marble, so my heels clicked, but they were too loud to hear me. I stopped just outside the dining room archway. "I can't believe she signed it." That was Jason's voice. "I know," my dad replied. I told her it was just standard paperwork for my health insurance. She was so tired she didn't even read the fine print. I froze. I remembered that email. A month ago, Dad sent me a DocuSign link. He said he needed me to authorize him as a beneficiary for some senior benefits. I was coming off a 36-hour shift. My eyes were blurry. I just clicked sign and went to sleep. "So it's done?" Mom asked nervously. "We can really sell it?" "It's as good as done, Ma," Jason said. "My lawyer buddy says with that power of attorney, you have full control over her assets. We list the house on Monday for a quick cash sale. $450,000. That clears my debt with the loan sharks, and we still have enough left over to start my nightclub." My blood turned to ice. They weren't just visiting. They tricked me into signing a power of attorney so they could sell my house the roof over their heads just to bail Jason out of gambling debt. I didn't storm in there screaming. I stepped back, walked silently out the front door, and sat in my rental car. My hands were shaking, but my mind was clear. I picked up my phone and called my lawyer. "David." "David?" I said. I need you to check the county clerk records. Did a power of attorney get filed in my name recently? He checked. Not yet. Why? Revoke it, I said. Immediately. Flag it as fraudulent and send the local police to my address. I have trespassers. I waited 20 minutes. It felt like a lifetime. When the police cruiser pulled up, I got out of my car and met the officers. I'm the homeowner, I told them, showing them the digital deed on my phone. There are people inside who are attempting to sell my property fraudulently. I want them removed. We walked in together. The three of them were still at the table. A bottle of Dom Perignon was open. When they saw me and the two uniformed officers behind me, the room went dead silent. Morgan? Mom whispered. The glass slipped from her hand and shattered on the floor. Hello, family, I said. My voice was calm, dangerously calm. Enjoying the champagne? I hope so. It's the last thing you'll be drinking in this house. Jason stood up, trying to look tough. What is this, Morgan? You brought cops to Mom and Dad's house? My house, I corrected him. And I heard everything, Jason. The gambling debt, the fake insurance papers, the plan to sell the place. Dad stood up, his face pale. Morgan, listen, we had no choice. Your brother is in trouble. Serious people are after him. We just needed to borrow the equity. Borrow? I laughed. You were going to sell it. You were going to make yourselves homeless to save him. We would have figured it out, Jason yelled. You have money. You're a doctor. You can buy another one. I needed this. I looked at him with pure disgust. Officer, I turned to the policeman. This man does not live here. He is not on the lease. Remove him. The officer stepped forward. Sir, you need to leave. And them? I pointed to my parents. That was the moment that broke me, but I didn't let it show. I am serving a verbal notice of eviction. I want them out. Mom started wailing. You can't do this. We raised you. You raised an ATM. I shot back. You stole from me. You lied to me. That power of attorney, revoked. That plan to sell, dead. You have 30 minutes to pack a bag and get out. It was ugly. Jason was cursing at me as the police escorted him to his car. Dad refused to look at me. Mom just cried on the sidewalk. Where will we go? She asked. Call Jason, I said, closing the door. He's the entrepreneur. I'm sure he has a plan. I changed the locks that same day. I listed the house for sale the next morning. It sold within 3 weeks. The aftermath wasn't pretty. My aunts and uncles blew up my phone, calling me evil. I blocked them all. I found out later that Jason had to sell his sports car. My parents are renting a 1-bedroom apartment in a bad part of town. They are surviving, but just barely. And the money from the house sale? I didn't save it. I spent it. I took myself to Greece. I sat on a balcony in Santorini, drinking wine that I paid for, looking at a view that I earned. It hurts to lose your family. I won't lie, but it hurts a lot less than being stabbed in the back by them every single day. I learned that you can't save people who are determined to destroy themselves. And sometimes, the golden child is just fool's gold. If you're listening to this and you're the one always giving, always fixing, always paying, do yourself a favor. Check the locks on your doors. And check who you're really letting in. Because sometimes, the intruder is already sitting at your dinner table.